we go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is episode 17 of New England Street Talk No Chaser. I am your host, Tori Slaughter, and I am right now filled with co-hosts right here. I got special guests galore right here to my left and to my right. First and foremost, shout out to 603 Live Podcast for having us here. They do a great job making sure that we have all the tech needs that we got here. Shout out to Sammy Smooth for that. If you haven't and you ain't jumped on your ability to start your own podcast, definitely do it. It is really, really simple process. We've made it seamless for you guys. So you can DM myself or you can DM Sammy Smooth, and then we'll get you started on your own podcast. Shout out to Vibes Restaurant for taking care of us since the beginning of our podcast. 17 episodes in, and they have not wavered. We appreciate them all the way to the ends of the earth. And then I got 3 podcast hosts with me here. 3. This is the first time. This is the most podcast hosts I've had sit with him here now. And I found out they all got more followers and subscribers than me, so I'm salty.
Until the end of this.
I know, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. Normally I'm sitting on one end or the other, so I'm gonna go left, and then I'm gonna swing right. All right. So on my left here, who I got with me?
What's going on, man? What's going on? It's KingznDreamz. You definitely can follow me on all platforms. KingznDreamz. That's Kings with a Z, the letter N, and then Dreams with a Z. Thank you for having me. I think this is my 3rd or 4th time being here.
Yep. 4th, 3rd.
Third?
First, second, 3rd. Yep.
Okay, 3rd. Okay. All right. Perfect.
I'm swinging to my right. Get him, Sam.
Hi, I'm Samantha. I have a podcast also, Talk About It with Sam, streaming on all platforms. You can also follow me on Instagram at Samantha's M World. I am a personal trainer, and I'm currently taking clients.
I love that for you. Yes, girl.
And then the superstar podcast that we got over here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Carissa Deshays. I have Faith Over Fear podcast. Airs every Tuesday, 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on 603. Tori, thank you so much for allowing me to be on your platform as well. I'm so honored to be here with all of you. You can follow me on all platforms, and Instagram is Faith Over Fear Weekly.
All right. Our normal co-host right now, Bry Guy had some work to do up north, so we couldn't get Bry Guy here. And then Titan Queen, as always, if y'all know her personally, she always on her grind getting her money right now. I wish she would have told me what she was at tonight, and I would have plugged that in there for her right now. But, she is a superstar nightlife host. So when the money calls, I do not stop her from answering, let me tell you. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty, man. Nitty-gritty. Anybody got some thoughts or something they want to share before we get started on our topic tonight? Because our topic tonight is monogamy versus polygamy. There we go. Any thoughts? Anybody got something you want to say?
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready too.
I'm ready to get it in, man.
You ready? Should we flip a coin? Which one should we go? What y'all think?
I think the boys should go first.
Yeah.
The boys should go first.
I'm curious to hear your insight. No, after you, please.
Oh, they want to be able to rebuttal. What is this, a rap battle? They say,
okay.
We'll go first. I mean, we'll go first. I don't necessarily think it was just the boys. I just think that it was our insights. You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of women who believe in polygamy. So, I'll start us off then. You know what I mean? I don't think in the world, the way it's grown, and the vastness of how many different personalities and characteristics, I don't think it's wrong to seek relationships with multiple women. You know what I mean? And that's them being involved as well. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of times when women hear polygamy, they hear a dude just wants a bunch of different girls. But at the same time, we've grown so much as a species, and how much we have access to right now as far as technology goes and what we have access to our fingertips in the world goes, it's hard to find one person to satisfy all those needs and desires.
I agree with that. So I 100% agree. But I think that from a male perspective and a female perspective, it's far different. So I see polygamy being more beneficial to men because of the sexual nature than it is for women. So as a woman, having sex with multiple male partners is dangerous. It's extremely dangerous, not just for STD purposes, but for spiritual reasons, for energy reasons. At the end of the day, if we're going to have unprotected sex and the goal is for everybody to come, right? So you come inside me, you release that, but you released it into me, so now I'm going to carry it with me.
Correct. That's transfer of energy. I know
exactly. So it's a transfer of energy. So now if I'm doing that with multiple men, think about all the energy that I have to carry around and what I have to walk around with as a woman. Now you get to release that and go, and you can release that in as many women as you want to.
I feel like though, so I did a little research, Tori. I came prepared. I like to be prepared on anything that I go into, especially having respect for anybody's platform as well. But, you know, the thing is so I was doing some research, and in the United States, if you're marrying anybody, it's illegal. Other countries, Muslim, South Africa, it's legal depending on where you are. But studies were actually shown that polygamy in other countries, or polygamy in general in women, is more detrimental than to men as women's mental health. So I've been really on this like spiritual journey for a while, and I've come to see, I believe intimacy, I believe the highest form of intimacy is conversation. I think when you can sit and talk with somebody and you can vibe with them, and you sit and you talk for 3 hours, 4 hours, and it's like you've known each other your whole lives. That to me is so beautiful. That to me is so pure. That to me is like, okay, like that's cool. Like that's a soul connection. I think that sex, I personally think when you have an intimate connection with somebody and then you're intimate in that way with them, not only is it so much more powerful, but, you know, sex as I've grown as a person within myself is such a spiritual thing. And yes, I think that, you know, a man coming inside of you, we take on their energy, but they also take a part of us as well. And my personal belief on society, because everything is so accessible with porn, with social media, with seeing, you know, it's lust over love. So you might be seeing something, you might be lusting over it, but the grass is not always greener on the other side, right? So a lot of times that's why people, and actually, I'm about to go off. Actually, when you look at relationships and sticking to one person, like men are in history really meant to procreate, right? So I think as time has gone on, it's kind of been like that one-on-one type of situation, monogamy, right? But what happens in our society today, because of social media, because of everything being so accessible, is that people are lusting. So they may love somebody, but they're still lusting. They're still lusting for more.
Constantly.
And then they become intimate with somebody else, even though they have something so good, right? And then they're taking a piece of that person with them as well. And then that's why our society and people are feeling so lost, even men. Because if you're constantly having to look for somebody else or something else, or fuck this bitch, fuck that bitch, because this girl has a nicer butt, or this girl has this, and what about soul connection? What about what it comes down to a person? Because at the end of the day, you're really only hurting yourself, and you're taking on people. Again, this is why I feel like it's a podcast. We all have our own opinions. I'm very spiritually in tune. I believe that people have demons they struggle with, things that they struggle with, and when you're intimate with somebody, you're taking that shit on. So it really comes to protecting your own spirit as well.
And it's fulfillment. Like when are you ever actually fulfilled? When can you ever actually sit down and feel content? Why does it take 4 or 5 other individuals for you to feel that contentment? Because you're not being pleased in all these other areas.
Well,
we can talk about it. That's why we're here.
Well, here's the thing, ladies. So men and women look at intimacy and relationships completely different, right? So we can even go back to the beginning of times, right? Because, you know, you had mentioned South Africa, Muslim, and things like that, right? So we can even bring it to the Bible, the Quran. And if you read those, most of the men have had multiple women, right? And so it's not just only about lust. It's just that in a man's true nature is not to just have one woman for the rest of his life, right? So like you see how it could be entertainers, actors, artists, or what have you, where they're having multiple women and they get caught and found out. So what I think is with polygamy, if you're just honest with a woman and say, okay, listen, you know, I want to have 2 or 3 relationships or what have you, that's perfectly fine. And then also you mentioned with it being illegal on paper, which is true. So what men are doing now, they're actually having marriage ceremonies, but not actually having it on paper. But men are actually living with 2 or more women as husband and wives, and the women are sister wives, and they know about each other. I think that it can be beneficial to the woman because you also have an extra helpmate there as well, right? With the spiritual thing, like I understand your point to a certain degree. You know, when a man ejaculates inside of a woman, you know, she's taking on a transference of energy. So this is why I believe with polygamy, with a man just being upfront and honest, there is no sneakiness or trying to be conniving and having that negative energy. If the man is upfront and he's positive, and not positive, if the man is upfront and he's just saying, okay, listen, this is what it is, you could either be a part of it or you don't. And more women are really starting to acquiesce to that, especially now in today's society. One of the things that I talk about is like higher echelon men, right? So what's happening is that you have 80 to 90% of the women that want like the top 10, 15% of men, right? So the polygamy thing is happening whether we like it or not. It is happening in one way or another.
So, like, I want to, before y'all say anything, ladies, I want y'all to understand this. And I could have sworn I said it before. You have to understand the difference between polygamy and polyamory, right? So polyamory fits the build of a man that just wants to have multiple sexual partners, right? Whereas polygamy, he has multiple different relationships with women. Right. So like you said, spiritual connection. I might be spiritually connected to you, but I'm not satisfied sexually. That doesn't mean that makes you less of a woman. That doesn't devalue you as a partner. And a polygamous relationship, then now I can go and I can see you. And then now that connection that I have with you is of a physical nature, but that doesn't change. So what I think that what y'all get hung up on is like, this man isn't necessarily just filling for sexual desires. Maybe you, like I said before when I started, it's very, very, very difficult to find one person that fits the mold of everything that you want. And then if you are a man of status, like he said, in the top 10% of men, I don't have to try to find one woman to fit that mold anymore. I have the resources to where I can create a multitude of women. And when I say multitude, I'm not talking about 10 or 20. It could be like 2 or 3. You know what I mean? It could be just 2. It could be 5. Who knows what the case may be. But like, these women in polygamy aren't necessarily in his life because he just wants multiple sexual partners. He is just creating multiple different avenues to fulfill his desires of a man and what he wants his life and what he wants to achieve that.
I mean, I think that's what like makes the world so unique, is that there's so many different avenues and so many different opinions of people and relationships and like all these things. And like, kind of bringing it back to what you were saying about, when you go into situations with honesty, and if that's something that I'm being open-minded, and that's why I like conversating about stuff like this, because I might learn something that I didn't know or have a different perspective that I didn't know, right? But when you're going into situations and you can be honest and all, I guess, agree on something of that nature and say, this does work for us. And I think a man, I mean, there could be a woman that has 6 husbands too.
Right.
She could be top dog. She could be like, listen, this is what I am. This is who I want to be, and this is what I'm gonna be upfront and real with you about, because this is what I'm expecting from you. So I think, if somebody has an intention as of that, and they're upfront and they're real about it, I think I can respect that. I think when you're talking about, the intercourse and it becoming really negative, that can be caught up in a negative way because of false intention or false things that were said. So then you have expectations on somebody, and then coming to find out that it's like a whole different situation, that's when it can become toxic. But I think honesty in a situation like that is obviously key.
I mean, if all parties agree on it, then they should 100% do it. But what I'm hearing ultimately is sharing a workload. Like, you have the ability to have all of these wives. And now, like, I think it was James that said it. Now the women can kind of use each other. Now they can backtrack off each other. Now you're responsible for the laundry. You're responsible for the dishes. You're responsible for caring for the children. Right. What does the man do? What is he doing?
He's the breadwinner.
Yeah, he's
like,
right.
Duh, the money.
Yeah, I mean,
the breadwinner.
Well, so let me just say this, right? So men who do this and who can be upfront and honest, we're talking about men who have the means. Because
Correct.
In full transparency, women are expensive. If you want them to look good, upkeep, right? Hair, nails, all of that stuff costs money. So if you want your woman to look good, have nice clothes, and all of these things, you're going to have to make sure that you upkeep. So if you have more than one woman, so let's just say hypothetically, a man has 3 women, right? So he has multiple businesses. Maybe one woman she went to school for it accounting, right? So she's his bookkeeper. Then you have one who's a really good caretaker. You know, she mainly holds down the kid. One woman, she's a really good cook, and she cleans up the house spotless, right? So the thing is that he has the roles for all 3 of them, and he also has the means to take care of them. So that would be the man's role.
Yeah, because that's a lot of responsibility.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, because even when I think about like one person and being with one man, I'm like, man, like having to show up not only like physically but emotionally for somebody, and also, you know, being there for them. And I think about like having multiple guys or multiple relationships. To me, I'm like, man, that's just exhausting.
That's
like,
how I feel about it too.
That's
It's
exhausting.
quality
But
of the relationship.
you know what blows my mind about all that? Like, listen to that and hearing that. It's like, okay, so as the woman, and now you're the top dog and you're the breadwinner. As a man, I shouldn't have to do shit. I'ma say it. Fuck out of here. I'm gonna say it because, like, no. Like, here's my thing, right? Because like women have reached toward this status because they want to emulate men. 100%. You can't say it any otherwise. The independence of women was because they strive to be just as independent as men, right?
Yep.
They want to be on the same status and on the same equal footing as men. So if you the rich one and you got all the bread, I'm going to sit at home and look pretty, and I'm going to cook and do the laundry. I ain't doing shit. Fuck, I'm getting money for. That's what I'm saying. Like, no, because like that's what men would do if the roles were reversed. So, like, how are women getting into these upper fucking echelon positions in life? They the breadwinner. They got the money. They make a $250,000 a year and still look down on men. It's wild. Because, like, I'll date the shorty in the line at McDonald's, and you saying you want fucking the dude that's next to P. Diddy in his music video. That's crazy.
That's
crazy.
Well, no Diddy, but
I had to do a Diddy mention somewhere.
No, but you make it. You make a valid point, right? Like, so with men, with means, like, we don't care. Like, she could be the cashier at Family Dollar, McDonald's, what have you, right? So most women are not going to date a guy who is a cashier at Family Dollar. And I'm talking about like an adult male, right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like a grown-ass man. Most women are not going to go for that. So, like, for the woman who makes, let's say, you said 250, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so she makes 250K. She's really going to want, most women are going to want a man that either makes 250K or higher. She may deal with a man who may make less, but she's not going to have that respect because she's the alpha in that relationship. And the thing is that most women typically want to be with a man that they can look up to. And if you can't be that earner and you can't have that level of stability, then she's not going to fully respect you.
That's not my perspective on it at all.
Well,
the way that I see it is there's nothing more attractive to me in the entire world than a man that is a good father, than a man that I can come home to and is raising our kids. If I can come home to a man after I've been working all day and he's been raising these kids and the house is barely clean, I'll clean up the rest of the shit. But if I know that my kids is cared for and that he was being patient with them all day, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hope he has a broom in his hand when I get there. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to treat him no different.
But who do you sound like when you say that?
So Samantha, hold on, really quick. But Samantha, so I'm speaking from the majority. You're speaking from the minority perspective, from your perspective, right?
Correct.
So what I'm saying is most women, right? So you're an outlier in that situation, right? And I understand how you would handle it.
I think I'm speaking it from it though, from a business point of view too, from women that have intentions on making money, from women that have intentions on owning businesses, and that are family oriented.
Well, if we doing that, if that's how we gonna do it, let's do it like that. So I'm gonna start speaking as a side nigga. How about that?
Oh my God.
Because I've seen great relationships, amazing relationships. I high-fived that nigga in secret from his bed on his side of the bed while he at work and I'm in the bed with his girlfriend. How about them apples? Now what? This man at work doing everything he can right now to be this woman, like the rock for this woman. But guess what? You know what the problem was in that relationship? Yeah. He didn't make enough money for her, so she didn't find him exciting. Mm-hmm. Insert side nigga. Here I come.
But I think there's
how
different
women
things
accept polyamory, but like shun polygamy is wild, because like. I worked the nightlife. I lived the nightlife like 10 years now. So I've seen it. Super side nigga. I could be the fucking CEO at this point. You know what I mean? And it's just like the same women that are in that class that you speaking of are the same women who have side niggas.
Yep.
Who have the extra nigga who's been out there cheating. Same shit. The same woman. Why? Because of what James just said. It's because they don't respect the man that they with. Because of him not being able to reach that echelon. You don't say good fathers.
Yeah, good
I
father.
I didn't watch him pick up his kids from the window. What do you mean? Shh, be quiet real quick while she go get them dressed and take him out while he go pick up them kids. Great father.
That's wild.
It is wild, but I just wanted to humble you real quick.
Yeah.
But being,
Humble you real quick.
I don't know. In reality, I don't know any women like that. I know a lot of
You
people.
don't?
No.
Introduce me to your friends. Watch me make it happen
right?
for you.
Exactly.
Introduce me to your friends.
Exactly. Like if you were to have 100 random women in the room, and I gave my perspective, Samantha, and you gave yours, I'm gonna guarantee about 90% of them are going to go with my perspective, and maybe the other 10 will go with yours. And
On paper.
and it's just, and listen, I'm not, for me and most men, we're not upset about it, because as men, we are supposed to be leaders, protectors, providers, and have that level of stability. And if you, and being a good earner shows that you have a level of stability.
I gotta say something. I was with somebody for a very long time who was very financially stable and had a really good career. And as a woman, you know, I think it depends on the person, and I think it also really depends on being honest with yourself. Because if you're a woman and you're staying in a relationship, and I stayed in a relationship that I wasn't happy with, I stayed in a relationship that I wanted to so badly make it work for my family that I was very unhappy, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it really comes down to being honest with yourself, and you know, if everybody, and also depending on where you are in your life. And this person that I was with was very financially stable. They made a great amount of money. And when I got with them, I was also very successful in certain aspects of my life. So I think when you meet somebody that's very like-minded like you, because I don't think, and I agree with what you're saying, I don't think if you're a woman or a man that's making $250,000 a year, you're not going to go to the Dollar Tree and be like, oh, you're a cashier. Like, yeah, this is great. This is not meeting where I'm at in my life. So I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. But I also think that it comes down to other needs as well, because even though this man was providing for me financially, you know, the emotional support wasn't there. The communication wasn't there. There were so many other lacks that were happening that I just felt really, you know, lost as a person. And also that connection just ended up breaking because of that. So,
right,
you know.
So check.
So let me just retort really quick.
Okay.
Yeah, so let me just retort really quick. It'll be about 30 seconds.
Okay, great.
So, you know, you mentioned that he was financially stable, strong in his career, right? But one of the things that I did mention was stability, right? So stability, that also includes being emotional support, right?
Correct.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, having money is one of the main factors, but there's other factors just besides the money.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's why I mentioned the stability standpoint, right? And then also you mentioned you being in that relationship, right? But also, like, you are looking at it from a macro perspective. I'm talking about the whole grand scheme of things. Like, I'm talking about the majority, not the minority.
Okay,
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah, I think that was about 30
For
seconds.
me, I'm just gonna dive deeper than that. I'm gonna get emotional right now. I'm gonna dive deep. I'm coming for your juggler. I want to let you know this right now. So you were in that relationship, and like you checked the boxes that needed to be checked from a familiar standpoint for him to be in a relationship with him. But there was a couple boxes that were unchecked, right? If he came to you and said, "Look, I know I'm not here," and then gave you the keys to the car, gave you a couple money, and you went out and you found a dude that was, and he was okay with that, would that have negatively or positively affected your relationship back then? Because you had something that you was holding on to that kept you into that relationship.
Yeah, I think it was a family.
Imagine if you could replace that with a different emotional, like experience. You know what I mean? That he was okay with. How do you think that would have affected the relationship then?
I mean, I think it would have been more positive if he could have gone into it. Yeah, I think if we were both in a different place at that time emotionally, and he could have had that level of understanding, I think it would have been more positive.
So, like, that's one of the biggest bases of polygamy right there. It's like, hey, listen, because a big part of polygamy is not only necessarily looking for the pieces that are missing, but acknowledging the pieces that you don't have. You know what I mean? So with men, we know women gravitate towards each other. You know what I mean? In a positive nature, like they become each other's rock at that point. You know what I mean? So when I'm not there to be that rock, I know she is. So like think in reverse and flip it. What if you had somebody then that he was okay with that can provide that emotional support for you? Like that would have alleviated a lot of the negativity that was brought in that relationship. And then now you got to start to think to you and ask yourself, like, wow, like something just that simple. Because like they say, it's a village. It takes a village to raise a child, but I'm supposed to be monogamous with one person.
But I think that's also like what I was saying. Just the thing that keeps coming into my mind as you're speaking and I'm listening to this whole thing, because I'm learning as we're talking, and that's why again I'm so grateful to be here. You know, it's really honesty and self-connection, because whether you look at monogamy, you know, it's being honest with yourself and what your basic needs are and how your soul's feeling in that moment. And I think when you can start being honest and saying, okay, maybe like, you know, multiple people, maybe this woman can do this for me, or this man can do this for me, and this man can do this for me, and say that, you know, I think that's when it can become successful. I think the downfall in society, and a lot of times we're influenced by society. A lot of times people are influenced by other relationships and
Yeah,
other
that's
people, and you look at these people, and not for nothing, social media, you know, it's a false representation of reality, because I can post anything that I want on my social media. I can post a relationship. I can post a picture with my man every single day. Say we're going on vacation next week, saying I just came back from the Bahamas, saying that he's the best thing. Look at these flowers that he bought me. But at the end of the day, you never know what's really happening behind closed doors. So I think a lot of us, when we're scrolling, right? Oh, man, well, okay, well, damn, my man's not doing that. Damn, this girl did that for him. Damn, that's crazy. Like, and then we start comparing.
Yep, that's true.
And then we become resentful. And then we have these expectations that we might not even have had going into the relationship, because now we're starting to compare and look at. So I believe social media has a huge influence on not only being honest with ourselves, but our false reality of what we think a relationship should be. So when you learn to separate yourself from that, and you maybe go on your healing journey, whether that's being single or celibate or whatever that looks like for you, and you really start looking internally and saying, okay, like, why didn't this relationship work for me? What did this man not offer me? Or why was I feeling so insecure? What do I have to fix in myself so I can start being honest with myself, so I can find that happiness and peace, whether it's with 6 people or 1 person?
Exactly. That's exactly what I meant when I was talking about fulfillment. So I agree with that very much, because the way that I look at it too is strength, right? So if I was in that similar situation and my man came to me and he said to me, here are the keys, here's all the money, but I did find a man that could do whatever it was that you needed to support your emotional needs, I would look at him and I would say, before we take that step, what is it that's stopping you from doing it? And how can I help? What can I do to provide you what you need to get you there before we take that route?
Correct.
And that takes a lot of strength.
Yeah.
Communication's key for sure. And communication and understanding, because you
Understanding, that's what I was
can
gonna say.
communicate with
Being
anybody,
selfless.
but if you're
No.
not understanding them, you won't.
And it's like, yeah, I know that I can have these things. You're saying that it's okay for me to have these things, or I can go sneak out and I can go do whatever it is that I want because you're not fulfilling this need, that need. Or I can come to you and say, this need and that need isn't fulfilled. What can we do together to make this work? And if it's not going to work, that's fine. Let's fucking figure it out. Maybe we do go get another wife and see how that works and see if it's better, then we can compare. But it takes a lot of strength first to say, this is what we're going to do. Because you as a person deserve this. Me as a person, I deserve this. We're not going to compare our relationship to other people, because all that's bullshit. First, what we're going to do is we're going to try to fix the areas that are broken and try to understand why this isn't working.
Yeah, no, it does. It definitely takes a lot of maturity to be in a polygamous relationship. A lot of maturity.
Yeah.
And then another thing I want to say is, it's a reason they call them the 7 deadly sins. It's a reason they're deadly. You know what I mean? Greed is one, and I mean that's one of the biggest factors I see that y'all leaning on right now. Like, cause I ain't gonna lie, men are greedy. You know what I mean? But envy.
I mean, women can be too. You know, it comes both ways. It's
Well, I mean, yes, but you also got to think, right? Like, with men in society, like, okay, right. So, and I just want to segue really, really quick, and I have mentioned this in one of the podcasts. But like with society, is that if, for men, if we don't have the ability to earn, we're pretty much out in the street, right? Like there's homeless shelters and everything like that. For women, there's only one homeless shelter. Oh, sorry, there's only one homeless shelter in North America for men, and it's actually in Canada. So what I was trying to say was that for men, we have to make sure that we build ourselves up, right? Not saying that women aren't supposed to build themselves up, but what I'm saying is that society, the government, if a woman can't, she can't have a house for herself or whatever the case is, the government is going to help her. The government is not going to help men. So with men, we're like, okay, we put in all this work. We built ourselves up, to the highest or trying to achieve the highest goals. We have our mental health. We have our physical health. We're very communicative, right? So if we say, all right, we want more than one woman, I don't think that's being greedy. I think that because we've put in the work, and we sacrifice. And not only that, but for these multiple women, they're going to have a roof over their heads, right? So, you know what I mean? These women are going to be taken care of. So it's not like the man is just saying like, oh, just give me some pussy and I'm not going to do anything for you. No, I'm going to be making sure that the lights are on, the heat is on, the air conditioner is on, whatever the case is. So that's a sacrifice. So I don't necessarily think that that's greed. That's just my pushback on you a little bit.
Yeah, but what about the emotional aspect of that now, right? So you have one man who has 5 wives. Mm-hmm. Now, how are her emotional...
I personally think 5 is too many, but...
All right, so
5 is a stretch.
Yeah, that's a stretch. That's a lot of... That's a lot of emotional energy.
That's a food stamp, boo.
That's a lot of emotional energy right
Jesus
there.
Christ. He work a lot.
Y'all talking about emotional availability for 5 women? No,
y'all talking about a dude 78 years old and about to kick the bucket.
Yeah,
3.
So what's your number? So 3 max, 2 max. What's your number?
3
Okay.
Three
so
max.
We can have a better understanding.
Yeah,
All right,
3.
Samantha.
Yeah, 3 max.
That's still a lot.
But two is comfortable. Two is extremely comfortable. Days. Two is very comfortable. 3 is like the max, but like anything after 3, I'm like, nah, bro, you wildin'. I'm sorry.
That's like a whole town.
But you expect this one man to make enough money to support this family of 6 because there's children involved, right?
Well,
So now he has to be emotionally available to these wives and to these children, and also he has to care for these children. He has to be the leader. He has to teach these children things. Yeah. Where is this man finding the time to do that? And I don't want the women cannot be the ones to support each other emotionally either.
No.
Because that's not going to work.
Okay,
At some point in time, those women are going to...
Okay.
It's not going to work.
Okay. I got you. I got it.
Yeah.
Nope.
I
got it.
My bad.
I got it.
Here we go.
I got it.
My bad.
I got it. Okay, NFL football player. I won. NFL football player. He's gone. How often of the season is he gone? Half the year.
Yeah, okay.
Half the year in between football, back and forth, right? He has a maid. Mm-hmm. He has a nanny. Mm-hmm. Somebody's taking care of his kid. Mm-hmm. So let's just say the nanny's a woman, hypothetically. So the nanny's a woman.
Right.
So there's already 2 women in that house already.
But when he comes back for the other half of the year, he's not dividing his attention between the 3
because
of them.
they don't look because the women in this relationship aren't looking for a divide. The women are in a relationship, they're in a relationship together. I have to stats. You have to separate polygamy from polyamory. We're not talking about a dude that just wants to fuck multiple bitches. We're talking about a dude that's in a relationship.
They all live together.
He's not in an individual relationship with this woman and then in an individual relationship separate with this woman. We are in a relationship together.
It's a union.
It's a union, yeah.
So I really want to hear, you know what I'm curious about, Tori? I'd love to hear your perspective on what you think the positives are with monogamy and then polygamy. What do you think?
The positives on monogamy?
Wait, was that question for me or?
Oh, you guys can both answer it.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you guys think that the positives would be with monogamy?
Monogamy?
Yeah. What do you think the positives with that is?
Hypothetical. I find my human.
Okay.
Right. What do you mean? What are the positives? The entire thing. If that was like if you came to me right now and said, Tori, this right here, this is your soulmate, this is your human, this is your person, and that I can fully connect with, then there the positives are endless in that scenario because like I am fully satisfied in every avenue that I can think of. honestly, I tell women all the time, the only thing men need from women is like, and this is gonna sound so terrible, I'm gonna get kicked off air for this, but honestly, the only thing men really want from women is just when to just shut up. I'm gonna keep it a buck with
Peace,
you, and I'm
peace.
not saying it in like a negative way, but like that. Maybe that's how I should have
Peace.
said it. Peace.
Shut
up.
That's all
Like,
right. That's all right.
You
You're the-
don't
you're
have
the
to win.
comedian.
That's the one. That is the one trait that will literally, if you want to handicap and cripple your man into seduction, is knowing when to just let him win. That's it. That's all a man really wants. He just wants to feel big. And there are a lot, and like right now with the masculinity in women growing to an all-time high, there aren't a lot of women like that. So honestly, like me and monogamy, it's a peaceful house. It's simple. It's easy. It's communication, comprehension. It's perfect. I believe that it can happen. But unfortunately, the world is just developed so far that like the things that we can do now, if you showed somebody 100 years ago, they would faint. They would pass out from excitement, knowing that like I can do what?
Right.
What?
Right.
Like God forbid you go get Hugh Hefner right now, 25-year-old Hugh Hefner, and bring him and be like, actually, dog, all you have to do is go on this website and click this button. And he's like, excuse me? I had all these shorties living in my house. You know what I mean? Like, no, yo, Byron said it best, yo. We don't want women to be our ops. I hate, like the best thing that could ever come from me, and it's just like when I go home, if I feel like I'm at peace, you can have whatever you want.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Like what a lot of things when it comes to the modern westernized woman, like in the United States, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, like when it comes to those areas, right? Like what women don't realize is there is so much power in femininity. Like when you are able to just give your man peace and like just a nice meal, have his clothes ironed, or have his stuff prepared for him. Like, man, he's gonna take care of you. He's gonna take care of you, and he's gonna and he's gonna have pride in taking care of you, because men have pride on being able to give their resources. Men, we love to give our resources, but we don't like giving our resources to women who don't appreciate us. That's the problem. So when we don't feel appreciated, we're like, nah, like we're going to go to the next one, and keep it moving. And so that's the thing. Like when it comes to the appreciation, the floodgates open. And it just baffles me that in today's society that you have a vast amount of women that don't see the power in femininity. It's mind-boggling to me.
What's mind-boggling is she get her eyelashes done, she get her hair done, she go get her nails done, and we just sitting there not giving a absolute fuck whatsoever about none of that shit. But you want to see that nigga smile big? Walk up to him and he didn't let him know and hand him a plate of food. Watch that motherfucker smile big.
Right.
It's because people don't look at simplicity anymore. It always has to be something bigger. Do you know what I mean? There's so much that comes in simple things. And when I'm hearing you talk, I hear about gratitude. So I feel like if you're constantly living in gratitude and one thing that I love to do is, the people that I have in my life today, whether I'm in a relationship, whether I'm having sex with them, whether they're friends of mine, I just love to remind people that I'm grateful that they're in my life, because, every single person that you get with, whether you have multiple wives, whether you have one wife, whether I got 10 mans, which I could not deal with that, or one man, every single person that you deal with has baggage, has trauma, has situations that they've been through. And it really comes down to, what is the person or people that you're willing to deal and grow with that? Because at the end of the day, this whole life experience, this whole life journey that we're on, we're all trying to figure it out. We're all on this journey trying to figure it out. And somebody you might meet will say, yeah, I have it all together, but what's the story behind the story? How did they get to that place of peace, right? And you talk about a woman being your peace. A man is the same way. The world is heavy. We all have bills. We all have jobs. We all have things, situations, people coming at us left and right, battles that we're going up against. So if you're having to go home and you're having to deal with that same battle, that same situation, yes, that's crazy. You want to go home and have to be wanting to deal with someone that can be your peace, that can be your quiet, that can be your sane place, that can say, like, I see you for you, I'm here for you. But I think what ends up happening, and you're talking about, let's say like my man comes home and he has a cooked meal and every single day, and then what? That got really excited in the beginning of the relationship, like, oh, this girl does that for me. She cooks for me. She comes and sees me. She shows up for me. Or vice versa with the man. He comes, sees me at work. He tells me how beautiful I am. He sends me text messages in the morning. And then all of a sudden, things start kind of going away a little bit because it's almost like we start expecting those things. And then again, that's when resentment builds. So I think when you live in gratitude and you can start even if it's every day he gets my coffee ready, be grateful for that.
Yeah.
That will keep you in a positive mindset in any relationship, even friendships, you know? So I just think in the alpha female thing, again, it just comes to what is trending, what people are looking up to. People are becoming so disconnected with their authentic selves and who they really are. And they're looking up to other and being influenced by other people. And, well, I got to be alpha. I got to be alpha. But even alpha can come from survival, because if someone was in a traumatic situation and all they know is fight or flight, where that could be as well. So every situation is just so different. I know I go on these little tangents, but
but what you said.
Can I read this comment?
Oh yeah.
Can I read this comment?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
I'm going to crash out. So a man needs to make a woman feel like she can be in her feminine. If she got to
Yes.
worry about bills or anything of that manner besides home, and home ain't a safe space, you will get a masculine woman every
I
time.
love
Just
that.
saying.
I
I love
agree
that
with
y'all
that.
love that too, because I'm going to call bullshit on it right
Yeah,
now.
that's
First off,
bullshit.
let's
I
stop
don't think so.
pretending like it was a man's idea for women to work in the first place. Like, let's not pretend like
I don't
we didn't live.
listen,
Oh,
I
let me
don't-
finish, because it's not all negative towards women, because I love me a strong, working, hard-working
agree
mom.
with
My
the
mom was
bill
one of
thing.
them. Let me get that, but men didn't create that concept. Men didn't create that desire. Men at no point ever came together and said, we want a masculine woman. Men have been chasing feminine women since women. There's no history whatsoever that shows that a man has ever asked or put women in a position to be masculine. Masculine women were created by women who wanted equal footing
who
with
were also
men.
being abused, who were being
Yeah.
tortured at home, who were being sent to insane asylums because they wasn't following suit and they wasn't doing exactly what the men in their lives wanted them to do. Women.
That's
Those
macro.
women
Yeah,
are
but
either
that's macro though.
right. Those women are deceased.
So I'm
We're,
gonna.
we're in 2024.
So I'm gonna say something really quick.
Okay, yeah. So all right, you go ahead and then I'll chime in. 'Cause-
So
yeah, go ahead.
to that comment about feeling safe, and I'm a woman. I'm a woman's woman, and to have a man pay for my bills. This. No, I do not expect that from any man. That's my own opinion. I've always been very independent. You know, I don't look at that when I'm getting into a relationship with anybody. And also, I think masculinity, yes, can come from trauma, but again, spiritual, right? As I was hearing you guys talk and as I'm reflecting, my first thought is heal. Is start looking in, because we can be triggered by anybody. I can be triggered by a friend. I can be triggered by a man. I can be triggered by my parents, my father, coworkers. So when I'm reacting in a way that may be toxic, that's because I have to heal within myself and get more connected to myself. But I also think that it's very important to feel safe with the person that you're with. Right. But I also was on my last podcast and someone had said triggers are teachers. So when you're triggered in a situation, that's something that's taught that you have to reflect on and you know, heal within yourself as well.
So my pushback. Okay, so my pushback to the comment that the person in the chat had made, and then also you ladies were in agreement. So this is why I disagree, right? So the woman is supposed to already be in her feminine energy, regardless. So then, like, the man should not. It's not his job to make the woman feel feminine. It's her responsibility as the woman to maintain her level of femininity. So, and you mentioned like trauma and things of that sort. It's her responsibility to get herself healing.
I do agree with that.
Yeah. So
Yes.
you know.
Absolutely.
So
I wish Titan was here.
talking to you know talking to a professional, talking to a professional, you know, just doing the work, because the thing is that when it comes to mental health and getting into relationships and things of that sort, if you're going into a relationship damaged, that's your fault, man or
true.
woman.
Correct.
You need to do the work to mentally prepare yourself for that relationship, or just even in life in general, you know. So so that's why I disagreed with the woman being in her masculine energy and then the man having to make her feel feminine. No, she should already be feminine.
Okay, so let's clear one part of like the slate right now, because like I understand where a lot of these opinions are coming from, right? I understand like these ideas, right? Because like Sarah, I'm looking at your comment right now. I wanna hit Byron's comment. Byron said, "Ladies, imagine if as a man I came up to you and was like, you know, I need you to be responsible for me deciding to be in my masculine energy." You see how fast you laughed? You see how fast you laughed?
Oh man,
You did. It was instant. You was like sassy,
man.
Okay, sassy pants.
Man, listen, you
You
know,
know?
listen, you know that poom poom getting dry.
And
as
if a
hell.
man not holding his weight, like Ophelia, I see your message too. If a man not holding his weight, then like you're not supposed to be like. I feel like women hit the husband era before they even finish the boyfriend era. You know what I mean? Because at no point in the boyfriend era should he evolve into a husband if you're not already checking the boxes all the way off. Another thing that I do want to say to women is like when you exit a relationship, before you get in another one, I need you to factory data reset everything you learned from that last relationship.
Both parties.
Erase
Both parties.
everything you learned. That dude was that dude.
Right.
All right? That is not men. That is that dude that
Right.
you pick.
Yep.
You're supposed to sit down and create a dream board, a scrapbook, a collage. I don't care what you do, because men do it.
Yeah.
Men do it.
Oh, yeah.
Men do it. We'll
Oh,
sit and we'll
absolutely.
do it. We'll be like, all right, okay, so I was with this shorty and this happened. Because you know what? Because men in the dating game, men,
yeah.
we're smart. We're meticulous, right? Our goal is to get laid, right? I'll go from the asshole perspective on it. Our job is to get laid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to study the trend. What are women like?
Yep.
What do women want men to be like?
Yep.
What lies do I have to tell? Who do I have to emulate and create myself to be?
Sure.
Now ask yourself, why is it so easy for men to find this information?
Right.
It's because we pay attention. And it's like, and we watch and we learn. So like, and that's the information that we are getting from women. So like, if the majority women swap and decide, hey, listen, you have to do X, Y, and Z, men are gonna go, ah, shit, bro, I ain't got laid in like 2-3 months, bro. What's going on with you? Man, I'm going through the same drop. What's going on? And as a collective, we're gonna be like, oh, shit. Okay, so we all need to go get 401ks. 401k, you got your 401k up? What's your 401k like? Hey, if a woman was like, I ain't dating no man with under a 750 credit score, the men will literally be in huddles going like, hey, yo, bro, so what's the trick to get your credit score up? Because I'm going to get my credit score up. Like, what you do? Yo, no, let me borrow a couple credits. Like, men will literally do any and everything they need to make sure that they fit the mold of the women that they are chasing.
No,
That's it.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, listen, right? Like, you know, for men, like again, the higher caliber men, this is why they get the pick of the litter, because as you just mentioned, right? You know, like the thing is, if women said that they did not want a man who had a lot of means, a lot of guys wouldn't really give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like we would, like, listen, like we would just be warehouse workers, go to work, do a 9 to 5, come home. No, that shit ain't working no more. You got to do at least 60, 70 hours a week plus, and you got to have multiple streams of income. So this way, you know, you could have the pick of the litter. Okay, so I want my woman to be an 8 or a 9. Well, you better have 8 or a 9 work ethic. That's a fact. And if you don't, like shoot, even the 5s or the 6s are picky now. It's crazy.
I'll keep it a buck, bro. Like, dude used to work at a railroad putting train tracks together for 16 hours to go home to the one woman that he found, and he just got her to move in after holding her hands for 7 months. And it took him forever to get that one woman to a reality now. Well, if I got 100K views on my podcast, I'm getting some pussy. That's crazy.
That's a fact.
That's crazy. I got 100K views on my podcast. What? Come here.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But that's a fact. But the realest shit that you said was how men will adapt to make sure that they get laid, and that's just a fact. That's just a fact. This is why a lot of men have multiple streams of income. because they know you got to be able to provide. And if you can't provide, you ain't getting inside.
That's it. That's it. So, like, our rebuttal is just like the reason why men have more successful polygamous relationships, right? And why we look for that is, like you said, it's because we put ourselves in a position and worked hard for that. And then now you look at women who just like are inside it's a power struggle right now with women. It's because it's not all women. I tell people this all the time. It's not all women. It's like a power struggle. You have your alpha women who want to be on top.
Amount.
You know what I mean? I mean, well, yeah, one side's losing, but
right.
You got your I'm always in my feminine energy women, and then you have your super masculine women. But like, it's so easy now with the way the world has been shaped. Is women can pick and choose when they decide they want. Like she just said earlier, like the comment earlier. Man, you know what? He ain't acting right. I'm masculine today. Man, it's like the fucking octopus. You flip inside out. Like,
yeah, that's
she get to pick and choose. Men don't.
Yeah, so I was watching this podcast. This woman called a woman who act like that. I think it's called dark femininity. So it's basically like they're acting like they're being like they pretend that they're feminine, but if you like were to tell her no or whatever the case is, then she's gonna buck up and turn masculine. You know what I mean? So she's not really a feminine woman. You get what I'm saying?
I already got to keep up with all the different genders. Now I got to start learning all the different femininities.
hey, a woman said it. I was like, oh shit.
I love Byron's comment. Byron's absolutely right. Women are disqualified men for being an Aquarius.
Yo.
Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah, like she's shaking her head. You're right. But women will disqualify a man because he was a Scorpio.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just the Aquarius. I was like, damn, you picking on me? I'm an Aquarius, bro.
Shit, I know that. You know what I mean? Like, God forbid you 5'6".
Oh,
good luck, dog.
Oh, hell.
Good luck, dog. You got all the money in the world, Tory Lanez. You got all the money in the world. It doesn't matter.
If you are 5'6", 5'7",
you think the guy that was 5'6"?
No. Hold on. If a guy, no, hold on. Listen.
And make sure when you give a reason, it's a reason you can find out the first day you meet him.
Listen. For all of my short guys, if you are like 5'5", 5'6", 5'7", you have better be ripped and you have better have six figures. That's it.
Facts.
That's it.
You have to go to the gym, dog.
That's it. You have to.
You have to. You gotta have the little mini mosquito bumps on your stomach, bro. You gotta have them, dog.
Seriously, cause listen, man, you heard the 6'6", 6 feet, 6 figures, 6 pack, or six, whatever. You know what I mean? So like, yeah. For my short guys,
I want to hear the answer to this.
You gotta be ripped. You gotta be ripped, man.
Nope,
you gotta
be 5'6".
be ripped and have it bad.
What is the stipulation after you met him the first day that you get him all right, I'll go on a date with you? He 5'6".
All right, so we're on a date, and I show up, and he's 5'6".
No, he ain't even got that far yet. You just met him. He's 5'6", and he want to convince you to go on a date with him.
All right, he has a good job, good qualities. He's family oriented.
That's all stuff you find out on the date.
No, it's not. I don't
Really?
go on. Why would you go on a date with somebody I didn't talk to first? These are all the questions I ask before I get on.
I
the
wouldn't
first
go
date.
out with him.
You would, okay, all right,
No,
thank you. She's like, yeah,
wouldn't,
no.
I
If
respect
he's
it.
5'6", no, and that's just me being honest, just because I'm 5'7".
I respect it.
And that's just me being real.
But I respect it. I respect
he has to be
it.
taller than me.
I respect that.
Now, how pissed off would
I
you?
don't even.
I
would
respect
probably
that.
Tell him I'm seasoned.
I respect that because some women will dance around and just say, you know what I mean?
But for
trying
what?
to make
That's wasting my time. I want to be able to wear heels with you. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. See,
Yeah.
but see.
But a woman,
the transparency. See, I like both. I like both of these ladies, but just now, I really liked her transparency. She said, "Nah, dog, I gotta wear heels." Okay,
Balloon
I
pops.
respect it. I respect that though. But see, listen, I respect
I have
that.
talked to men though that were 5'6". Like we didn't make it to the first date because. Like,
Of course not. Of course not.
Why?
She thought about it. She
Nope.
thought about it. She's like,
I will say this from the beginning of the podcast. From
you considered it, okay?
Just swipe right.
Hey,
From the beginning.
Hey, listen, I respect it though. I respect it.
She probably over here
She
sitting here like
contemplated. She contemplated.
5'6".
Though.
This is the only time I'm okay with a dick pic.
Hey, she contemplated though.
The first time she'd be like, "I'm glad he sent the dick pic first. Thank God.
Blocked.
Thank God." God. No.
Blocked.
Oh shit.
But no, I love that, like, from the beginning of the podcast, y'all were, like, absolute team monogamy. But as we gone through and as we flowed through the definition of polygamy, I see y'all
We
turning the
talked
leaf.
about it though. We
Yeah,
talked
I
about
see
it.
y'all like,
we talked before we got here.
So we can say polygamy won, right?
Oh,
Polygamy
man.
won?
I mean,
Oh, I didn't-
it-
I think
it's,
we won.
It's winning. I mean,
I think
it's
we
winning,
won.
though.
It's winning regardless if we like it or not.
Open-mindedness, man.
Like,
Open, you know.
That's the way the world is going. Regardless if like that, if that's what I like.
No,
or-
world is doing open relationships. That's
Like,
not polygamy.
Oprah relationship.
That's not polygamy.
Yeah,
That's
a
just
whole nother
whoredom.
subject. Like
Oh man.
No,
the
it's
whole,
not.
like that's scary. Open I would do polygamy.
Oh,
A
open
polygamy relationship
relationships,
before I did
yeah.
Open relationship.
Yeah, see with the polygamy, like both ladies or three or whatever, but all of the ladies like know each other. You know what I mean? Like they
at least you have
yeah.
a working mate at that point. With an open relationship, y'all are really just sleeping with
Yeah,
anybody.
that's very
Like,
scary.
Y'all just out
That's when it
there.
becomes.
That's
That's when it
terrifying,
becomes
like-
dangerous. I think. Like,
Yeah.
An open relationship.
At least I
Again.
can
Well, it
share the
depends.
boundary
Yeah,
with my
well,
sister.
It
You
depends.
never, you know.
Do they have the DCU app downloaded? Because if you got the DCU app downloaded, I'm with it. You could just if I could just pull up your chart right off the top,
man.
hey, we good. Like,
I mean, yeah, I think when you go into anything like this, especially podcasts where it's different topics, you know, this versus this, like you have to be, you don't have to be, but I chose to be open-minded. So again, like I'm learning from you guys listening and different perspectives. And, you know, that's what makes humanity really interesting is that there's so many different people, but we all have different perspectives on things. So, you know, I think just, again, going into a relationship, being honest. With an open relationship, you never really know who's being honest. If you're in a 5 women, 1 man. Okay, we'll stick to 3. I know 5 was too much, but 3 women, 1 man,
No
2
5.
right, or vice versa, and you're all on the same page. Communication and understanding is key, and that's the same thing with monogamy as well. Just communication and understanding. Because I can be sitting here, Tori, talking to you and communicating, but if you don't understand me, then we're not going to get anywhere.
yeah, no, I was thinking about my fantasy team and whether Cooper Cup was gonna play next week or not. Is Tyreek Hill gonna get a quarterback? But before you finish, I want you to answer a question.
Of course.
Would you date or be in a relationship where it's 2 men
100%.
that know about each other, that are completely complicit or what's going on, and they both, you know, find you to be the woman that, like their spirit, like you're their soulmate to them?
Absolutely.
Could I be in a relationship?
She didn't even want to
with
wait for her turn. She's like,
2
"Yep, where they at? Is he 5'6"?
At this moment in my life, no. Where I am in my life at this moment, no, and that's just me being honest. You know, life's a long life. I don't know what the future has in store for me, but in this exact moment, no.
That was like really long for I'm open to it later.
Oh man, no.
So would you? Okay, so like, would either of y'all be in a polygamous relationship? Like, would y'all be open to that after hearing the conversation? I know that you know, you said that you did your homework, you did your research, but you know, hearing the dialogue that we had today for our perspective, would either of you be open to actually being in a polygamous relationship?
No, not right now.
Me either.
Okay.
How? Wait a minute. Why is it okay for you to be with 2 men who are complicit and completely understand and want to be with you, right? But like you couldn't be in a relationship with a man if that was another. Is it the other woman part aspect is the problem for you? Do you
No.
not see yourself being able to be compatible with another woman adding to the mix?
No.
Because 2 dudes was fine.
Yeah, it is fine. But it's not the other woman. I think because in a relationship like that, where I had 2 husbands, I would have a lot of control in that situation. In
Well-
a situation where I was relinquishing control to a man that was pretty much creating the situation where he had 2 wives, and he was he was creating a unity where I had to work with another woman to best please him because he was the financial provider I'm not comfortable with. I would like to be considered the provider in my family as well. So I would like to meet him where he was at. And if that was the case, if I was meeting him where he was at, it wouldn't be necessary for me to have a unity with another woman in our relationship when I could hire somebody to do those things.
But why not? Okay, but
So you
all right.
buy him a stripper?
So, okay. So my question is this, right? So why not? Why not be a housewife? Because your job could be taken care of inside the home, and his job is taken care of outside the home. So, like, because the thing is that I think, and I'm not saying you, Samantha, but I think that like with a lot of like modern Western women, like they overlook the housewife. Like they think like it's beneath them. But the thing is that that's something that you do 7 days a week, right? And making sure that the house is clean, making sure that food is cooked and everything like that. Like that's a hard job.
Yeah.
So I think that that's a big sacrifice. So I just don't understand like your thought process as far as with the control.
Because I'm a high quality woman. I can do those things and work. And it's not overwhelming to me. It's not stressful. I'm not overstimulated. I am a businesswoman, and I pride myself on being a businesswoman. But I'm not just a businesswoman. I'm a multitasker, and I've already been a housewife. I have a 14-year-old son. I already raised an entire family, and I was good at it. And I worked full-time and put myself through school while I was doing it. So I don't want to limit myself to just be, and there's nothing wrong with being a housewife. Please don't get me wrong, because it's an extremely hard job.
Right.
And women that do it, like, they do it a great job, and, like, that's awesome. But me, myself, I pride myself on business, and I like being a financial provider.
Okay, so why not? Okay, so why not like maybe possibly do it part-time and then work from home? Because wouldn't like, because I think with the school society, and I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but I think that kids are actually better off being homeschooled.
I agree with that. If I
I
had
agree with
children,
that as
my
well.
perspective on this would completely change 100%.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, that bell. Y'all know what that bell was. I want to let you guys finish your thoughts. But that is it. That is our episode for today. That was definitely a great, informative episode. Thank you all for being on. Make sure you follow KingznDreamz on YouTube, Samantha's World, Faith Over Fear. Make sure you guys go and follow those if y'all want. If y'all go in the video and drop y'all links in the comments, that'd be awesome. We're still working and learning on that. But thank you guys. Shout out to Vibes Restaurant. Definitely full up today. Sunday brunch, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. They do have some great food, some great specials. Other than that, I will see you guys next week.
I need to find me 2 husbands.
I'm fucking dead.